Okay, my name is Tom Beeman. I've been going to this church for 30 years now. Just turned 30 this year, so it's been a great church. What can I say? I was saved when I was 9 years old. We had a tent meeting back then too, of course. And back in those days, we used to do the tent here over on the side. And I still remember walking in that tent, the smell of the sawdust we used to put over the gravel. And I can still remember that smell. But as a young boy, I was under great conviction. And even young children can get under conviction. Because I remember that. I'll never forget that day. I was sitting in the back of the tent. I think Andy Sharpetta was actually there up visiting, and he was standing next to me. I had my hands on the chair, and it was just shaking. I knew what I had to do, but I was kind of shy when I was younger, and that was a big deal for me to walk out during the invitation, talk to my dad, tell him I need to get saved. That was a huge step for me. And I remember stepping out. I said, "Dad, I need to get saved." And he took me down and asked the Lord to save me. I remember getting up from the altar after the tent meeting, walked down the parking lot. I just felt like a huge burden had been lifted off my shoulders. And I remember running through the parking lot, and then I remember Brother Carl used to have his flashlight waving people through the parking lot, telling me to stay away from cars. So thank you, Carl, for keeping me safe. And that's how I got saved. I got baptized the following Sunday, and I really do love this church. I was asking myself the question this whole week, why do I love my church? And I had a little bit of a problem. I started writing stuff down, and I got so much stuff, I can't possibly fit it in the time I have. So I'm just going to start going through this. One of the reasons is unity. The Bible says in Psalms 133:1, "Behold how good and how pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity." And I really think that verse describes our church. That's what we have here. I've been to other churches, and one of the big differences, we have unity. I mean, a better Christian fellowship here than any other place I've ever been. So unity is very important in our church. Another thing is the presence of God. I've seen God work in this church. I've seen God move. I was thinking back to some of the mission trips we went on. We went to New Mexico a number of years ago. We were driving through the desert, some remote desert in a van, and we were just going back to where we were staying. And we just started singing a little bit, and God just moved in. I'll never forget that day. God broke my heart over my grandparent. My grandfather wasn't saved at the time. And it's times like that I want my children to experience in this church. That's another reason why I love being in this church. Another reason, godly counsel and instruction and preaching. Boy, I get so much good teaching, growing up in this church, going through Sunday school. I've been with Brother Tom and Brother Chuck in the youth group. And even to this day, I call on men of this church to get counsel. And it's really been so helpful. I like the verse Proverbs 11:14, "Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." Amen. And preaching, we have such good preaching in this church. Pastor, he studies the Bible so much, and he really knows how to rightly divide the word of truth. He's not looking to get a big crowd. He just minds the Lord. He wants to please the Lord in this church, and I appreciate that so much. He's so real. And just the counsel I've gotten just going through the youth group, I was encouraged at a young age, go to Christian college. It's important to follow God with your life. Whatever occupation God puts you in, do it because the Lord is telling you to go that way. So I went to Christian college, and if I hadn't gone to Christian college, I wouldn't have met my wife. And she was from San Diego, and there would have been no other way that I would have met her. So just the counsel that I get in this church has helped me so much. Another reason is good Christian examples. There's so many Christians that have walked with God for so long in this church. And those are the people I look up to. The senior saints, one of the most important groups, I think, in our church, is those seniors that have been faithful to God for so many years. I think of my grandmother, one of the greatest examples I have.
Amen. Amen.
She's gone through so much in her life and been faithful. Never heard her blame God for anything. just stay true to him. She's always got a song in her heart and praise on her lips for the Lord, and I just love that so much about her. Love my grandma. My dad once gave me this illustration when I was growing up about how to get better at a sport or anything in general. He said, Tom, if you want to get better at something, you go around someone that's, if you're playing basketball, you play with someone that's better than you, because that's going to make you better. And I think it's that way in our church. There's so many people that have walked with God for so long. There's so many good examples here. That's one of the reasons why I love this church. I think of like Brother Bill Todd, just loves to witness to people. I mean, those are the kind of people I look up to in this church. The people that serve God and are so faithful, those are the people I look up to. And then I'd like to say that it's a great place to raise your children. What a huge responsibility it is to raise children. I'm so blessed to have 3 little girls, and I really do adore them. And me and my wife have both agreed that, we don't care if our kids get rich, get a lot of things. We just want them to live a life that is pleasing to God. And we know that they're in a church where they can learn these things. My oldest daughter, Lucy, just got saved this year. She's 6 years old. Me and Jen have been working with her on these things. And I know that when she's coming to church, her Sunday school teachers are reinforcing those things in her mind. And you all have a big part in her getting saved. And I just want to thank you so much for that. I have so many things to be thankful for, and this list could go on, but that's why I love my church.